Chosen one, what if I told you that the reason you feel so different is because you were never meant to be like them? You were born for something greater. From the very beginning, it's been clear you were set apart. Maybe you've noticed it yourself. The way people look at you, the way you walk into a room and energy shifts, the way you feel both connected to something deeper and disconnected from the world around you. That's not a coincidence. You were chosen for a reason, and now it's time to uncover the truth that's been hidden in plain sight. You see, the world they created was never built for you. It's no wonder you don't fit in. They have always known that people like you, people who carry this powerful energy, are capable of change, capable of disrupting the status quo. That's why they have done everything possible to make you doubt yourself, to make you feel small, to keep you from stepping into your power. But their efforts haven't worked. Because here you are, still searching, still growing, still on the path to becoming who you were meant to be. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain. I'm going to show you why you felt different all your life, what this means for your destiny, and how you can finally take the steps toward fully embracing your role as a chosen one. And if you feel like this message speaks directly to your soul, if you know deep down that you're not here by accident, hit the like button and comment 77. Let me know that you're listening. Also, don't forget to subscribe, share this video with someone who needs it, and click that super thanks button to show your support. Because the truth we're about to uncover isn't just for you. It's for anyone who's ready to rise above what they have tried to suppress. Let's dive in. Why you've always felt different. From the moment you were born, it felt like you were walking through a world that wasn't entirely yours. Maybe it was a subtle way people reacted to you, a strange mix of admiration and discomfort. Perhaps it was how you always seemed to see things differently, noticing patterns and emotions others missed. You weren't just marching to the beat of your own drum. It was as if you heard a completely different symphony. For as long as you can remember, something deep inside told you that you weren't here just to blend in or go along with the crowd. This inner voice, quiet yet persistent, whispered that you were part of something much greater. But this awareness didn't come without its challenges. Instead of feeling celebrated, you were often questioned, misunderstood, or even dismissed. The truth is, that sense of otherness you felt for so long hasn't been easy to carry. There were times when you tried to fit in, to force yourself into the roles they had prepared. You've experienced the isolation of being the one who asks too many questions, the one who can't just accept the surface answers. You've known what it's like to feel lonely in a crowded room, to feel like no one quite understands why you see the world the way you do. This struggle runs deep, doesn't it? It's not just about being different for the sake of it. It's about a longing to connect, to find others who share your depth, your sense of purpose. But time and again, you were left standing at the edges, wondering if anyone else could truly see what you see, feel what you feel. It's not just confusion you faced, but a profound sense of questioning, asking why you were given this unique perspective if it only seemed to set you apart. Yet, what if this was never a punishment? What if it was never meant to be a burden? The Bible tells us in Psalm 139, verse 14, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know that full well." Think about that for a moment. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. Your unique perspective, your deeper sensitivity, your ability to sense what others cannot, these weren't mistakes. They were deliberate. If you were created with such care and intention, then your journey is not random. Your struggles, your questions, your differences, they were all part of divine plan. Perhaps the very pain you felt is a sign that you've been called to something extraordinary. That longing you carry isn't a curse. It's a calling. And now, if you look closely, you'll see the signs of transformation all around you. There was a time when you felt entirely out of place. But lately, haven't you noticed a shift? Maybe you've begun to sense a greater alignment in your life. You might feel the spark of inspiration more often, or you're drawn to new paths that feel strangely right. Perhaps you've encountered people who truly get you for the first time, or you stumbled upon opportunities that seem almost too perfect. These aren't coincidences. They're the gentle nudges of divine timing. Like the early rays of dawn breaking through the darkness, these moments of clarity and connection remind you that you're on the verge of something greater. Behind the scenes, forces beyond what we can see are aligning on your behalf. What once seemed like endless roadblocks are now starting to look like stepping stones. Your struggles weren't random challenges. They were carefully placed to shape you, strengthen you, and prepare you. This isn't just about enduring the hard times. It's about what comes next. Isaiah 41 verse 10 offers reassurance. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. This promise means that no matter how heavy the journey has been, you're not walking alone. The divine hand that made you different is the same hand guiding you forward. It's time now for a deeper realization. You've felt these shifts and seen these signs, but embracing them fully is another step entirely. So many people resist change, even change that's good for them, because they fear what it means to let go of what's familiar. You might feel that fear, too, but alignment requires more than just noticing the signs. It asks you to trust them, to trust that you were created with a purpose, to trust that stepping into this role won't just transform your life, it will inspire others and light the way for them. And once you begin to accept this fully, without hesitation, you'll start to see just how much you're capable of. This is your moment, a moment where you choose to stop doubting and start believing in the uniqueness that has always been there. Let go of any lingering fears that you don't belong and step boldly into the identity of a chosen one. You've seen the signs, you felt the calling, and now you know that it's real. You were never meant to fit in, because you were meant to stand out. Let this be the day you embrace that truth and walk into your purpose with confidence. Signs that you are a true chosen one. When you step into a room, it's as if an invisible spotlight follows you. You don't have to speak a word, yet something about your presence makes people sit up and take notice. It might feel subtle at first, the way a conversation pauses, or how someone seems to glance at you more often than at others. Yet as time goes on, you realize these reactions aren't coincidences. It's as though your energy stirs the air, causing subtle shift that everyone feels, but few can explain. Have you ever wondered why strangers feel comfortable sharing their secrets with you, or why you often find yourself at the center of discussions, even when you try to stay out of the spotlight? These moments, these quiet yet undeniable reactions, are the early signs that you are indeed different in ways that others can sense but not fully understand. It's not always easy to bear the weight of these encounters. On one hand, people seem drawn to you as if you hold an answer they've been seeking. But on the other hand, there are those who avoid you altogether, perhaps out of jealousy, fear, or misunderstanding. Have you ever felt the sting of rejection from people who couldn't handle the intensity you bring to a room? You may have been labeled as intense, too much, or different. These labels, often intended to diminish you, actually reveal just how powerful your energy is. The emotional struggle of navigating these reactions can be draining. After all, you never set out to be anyone's beacon of light or lightning rod of discomfort. And yet, it keeps happening. The ups and downs, the praise and pushback, the admiration and avoidance. All of it points to a unique role you didn't consciously choose but can't deny. But what if this pattern isn't a random coincidence? The Bible reminds us in John 15 verse 19, if you were the world would love its own. Yet because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. This verse sheds light on the tension you feel. You weren't meant to blend seamlessly into the crowd, because you were chosen for a higher purpose. When you encounter resistance or misunderstanding, it isn't because you're wrong. It's because your light shines too brightly for those still living in shadow. Your ability to draw out honesty from strangers, your knack for reading the unspoken emotions of a room, your natural magnetism, they're all signs that you're aligned with calling far beyond the ordinary. As you look back over your life, you might notice other subtle signs that were always there. Maybe there were pivotal moments when you felt an unshakable connection to something greater, moments that left you in awe but also feeling slightly out of place. Perhaps you experienced synchronicities, events that seem too perfectly timed to be mere chance. These are not just random occurrences. They're reminders that you're being guided. Pay attention to these patterns, because they're a reflection of the unseen forces shaping your path. The very energy that makes people feel either drawn to or unsettled by you is the same energy that's guiding you toward a purpose that's slowly being revealed. Beyond these experiences, there are times when you felt something even more profound, an undeniable shift in your own spirit. It might be a growing sense of clarity, an increasing awareness of what truly matters, or a newfound determination to walk away from what no longer serves you. These shifts aren't always easy, but they mark the beginning of transformation. It's like the earth moving beneath your feet, unsettling but necessary for your growth. You may have felt the urge to let go of certain people, habits, or beliefs, feeling as if you're shedding old skin to reveal something truer and more aligned. The change may have come with growing pains, but deep down, you sense that it's part of something greater. Then, there are those moments when you feel an unmistakable presence in your life, something you can't see or touch but know is there. It's a sense of being supported, guided, and even protected. You start to notice that opportunities appear when you need them most, that people cross your path just as you're seeking answers. What may have once felt like struggle now begins to feel like preparation. It's as though the obstacles you face were put there to strengthen you, to teach you resilience, and to remind you that you are never alone. These moments of divine intervention, though subtle, remind you that you are walking a path that was set in motion long before you even realized existed. By now, you may have started to accept that these signs are real, but acceptance is just the beginning. The true challenge lies in fully embracing what they mean. It's not enough to recognize that you're different. You must decide to own that difference, to let it guide your choices and shape your destiny. Many people shy away from such a responsibility. They want to fit in, to go unnoticed, to live comfortably within the bounds of what's expected. But that's not your path. You felt the signs, the shifts, the divine nudges, and now you're faced with choice. Continue questioning or fully step into who you are. This is a moment of truth, one that requires courage, faith, and a willingness to trust that being a chosen one isn't just an identity. It's a calling. In this moment of clarity, you realize that the signs were never random. Each encounter, each shift, each revelation has been preparing you to stand firmly in your purpose. The resistance you face wasn't meant to break you, but to refine you. You were always meant to be different, to be the one who sees what others cannot and feels what others fear to acknowledge. Now that you recognize these signs, it's time to move forward with purpose and confidence. Trust that the path ahead is lit, not by the approval of others, but by the divine spark within you. If this resonates with you, comment signs below and let the world know you embrace your journey. Why others can sense you are not like them. It's a feeling you can't ignore. Whenever you walk into a room, it's as if the air changes. Maybe it's the way people glance at you, the way their conversations pause for just a moment, or how their eyes seem to follow you, even if they don't realize it. Have you ever noticed how some people instinctively move closer to you, while others seem to pull away, almost offensively? It's not something you're doing intentionally. Just being yourself is enough to shift the atmosphere. There's an unspoken tension that rises, a silent acknowledgement that you're not like them. No one says it outright, but you can feel in the way they interact with you, in the way their behavior subtly shifts when you're around. This dynamic can be confusing and isolating. On one hand, some people are drawn to you, intrigued by something they can't quite name. They open up to you, sharing their thoughts and feelings as though they've been waiting their entire lives for someone who understands. On the other hand, there are those who keep their distance, who seem uneasy in your presence. They might treat you with suspicion or even resentment, as if your very existence challenges something they hold dear. It's not that you've done anything to provoke them. Your energy alone is enough to stir something in them. That kind of reaction can feel like rejection, and it's hard not to wonder why your presence creates such a strong response. But there's a deeper truth at play. In 1 Peter 2 verse 9, we're reminded, "But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light." Think about that. You're not like them because you were set apart. The reason people sense your difference isn't a flaw. It's a reflection of your unique purpose. The discomfort or intrigue they feel is a testament to the light you carry, a light that they can't ignore. It's not just about standing out. It's about embodying something they can't quite grasp, something that challenges their view of the world. Over time, you might begin to notice how your presence acts as a mirror for those around you. People's reactions say more about them than about you. When someone feels drawn to you, it's often because they recognize something they admire or long for. When someone feels repelled, it's usually because your energy forces them to confront things they'd rather avoid. This could be a lonely path to walk, especially when you realize that the very thing that sets you apart also sets you at odds with the status quo. But once you understand this dynamic, you can start to see it not as a burden, but as a gift, a sign that you are walking the path of the chosen one. What's even more fascinating is that you don't have to do anything extra for these reactions to occur. You might simply be sitting quietly, absorbed in your thoughts, and yet people will still sense that you're different. It's as if your very existence challenges the unspoken rules of their world. They can't put their finger on it, but they know you don't fit the mold. And while that can lead to misunderstandings and judgment, it's also an indication of just how powerful your presence truly is. The energy you carry is undeniable, and even those who are uncomfortable around you can't completely ignore it. As you start to embrace this reality, you'll find that what once felt like rejection now feels like confirmation. Confirmation that you are indeed different, that you were never meant to blend in. In fact, these reactions are often the first signposts on your journey, pointing you toward the unique role you were born to fulfill. Your ability to unsettle others isn't a curse. It's a reminder that you were meant to lead, to inspire, and to shift perspectives. And the more you own this truth, the less their reactions will bother you. Instead of feeling out of place, you'll begin to feel more at home in your own skin, more confident in your purpose. Still, this is an easy path. Many people resist embracing their uniqueness because it's uncomfortable to stand out, to be seen as other. But if you were meant to walk a different path, you must learn to see these reactions as proof of your calling, not as something to shy away from. The discomfort others feel isn't your burden to carry. It's their response to the light you bring. Your role isn't to dim your light, so they feel at ease. Instead, it's to let your light shine even brighter, guiding those who are ready to step out of the shadows and into their own truth. In the end, your difference is what makes you powerful. Those who sense you're not like them are simply witnessing the strength of your presence. When you walk into a room, you change it. When you speak, people listen. And when you fully accept who you are, you'll no longer see their reactions as obstacles, but as affirmations that you are walking the path you were always meant to walk. If you felt this shift in your life, comment sense below and let the world know you're embracing your difference. How to stop feeling lost and alone. It's not easy to admit just how isolating it can feel to be different. You might find yourself in the middle of a crowded room, surrounded by familiar faces, and yet that gnawing sensation of loneliness never quite goes away. Have you ever felt like you're on the outside looking in, watching the world connect in ways that seem impossible for you? The sense of not belonging can cut deep. It makes you question not just your relationships, but your very purpose. What did you do to feel so disconnected? The truth is, you didn't do anything wrong. The very things that set you apart, the traits that make you special, also create distance from those who don't share them. But that doesn't mean you have to stay lost or alone. In many ways, the world as it is not designed for someone like you. They encourage conformity, pushing people to fit into neat little boxes, while you've always felt out of place. You've probably tried at some point to fit into that mold. Tried to go along with the crowd, follow their rules, meet their expectations. But it never felt right, did it? Instead of connection, you ended up feeling more alienated, more unseen. It's not your fault. You can't find your true tribe by pretending to be someone you're not. You can't feel whole by following a path that was never meant for you. The emptiness you feel isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that you're looking in the wrong places for connection. But there is hope. The Bible reminds us in Proverbs 27 verse 17, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. This passage encourages us to find those who truly understand us, who can help us grow. Your tribe is out there, those who resonate with your energy, who see the world as you do, who can walk alongside you as you pursue your purpose. When you seek out like-minded individuals, the loneliness begins to lift. These people don't just accept your uniqueness, they celebrate it. They inspire you and give you strength when you need it most. And when you find them, you'll start to realize that you were never meant to journey alone. Still, finding your people isn't the only way to stop feeling lost. Sometimes the connection you seek is within. When was the last time you sat in stillness, truly listening to that inner voice they try to silence? In the rush and noise of everyday life, it's easy to lose sight of that quiet wisdom within you. But when you carve out time to meditate, to pray, to simply sit and be, you begin to hear it again. It's that soft whisper that reminds you who you are, that points you back toward your path. It tells you that you're not lost. You're just in a period of searching. And searching isn't the same as being alone. As you embrace stillness, you start to see the bigger picture. The confusion begins to fade, and you notice the threads of connection that were always there, even if you didn't recognize them before. Perhaps you recall times when you felt truly seen by someone, moments when a stranger's kindness reminded you that the world isn't entirely cold. Maybe you'll realize that the things you've been through have shaped you into someone with strength and compassion that they can't comprehend. When you understand that your journey has a purpose, the loneliness starts to transform. It becomes less of a weight and more a reminder that your path is special, unique, and valuable. In those quiet moments, you might also discover that the very qualities you thought were weaknesses are actually your greatest assets. That sensitivity you try to suppress, that longing for meaning, that desire for deeper connection, they're not flaws. They're gifts. They guide you toward a life that feels authentic, meaningful, and true to who you are. You don't have to deny them anymore. Instead, let them be the compass that leads you toward your destiny. When you stop fighting what makes you different and start embracing it, you'll find that the feeling of being lost fades away. It's replaced by a growing sense of direction, of purpose, of belonging to something greater than yourself. And as you take these steps, finding your tribe, listening to your inner voice, embracing your unique qualities, you'll notice that the feeling of loneliness becomes less and less overwhelming. You'll feel more grounded, more certain of your place in the world. It won't happen all at once, but piece by piece, you'll build a life that feels aligned and whole. You'll realize that you were never truly alone. Those who understand you, who share your vision, are out there waiting for you. And as you connect with them, you'll feel the weight lift, replaced by a sense of belonging that's been there all along, waiting for you to claim it. In this new light, your path no longer feels isolated. It feels intentional. The loneliness that once threatened to consume you now serves as a reminder of how far you've come and how much you've grown. By choosing to embrace your journey, by seeking connection with like-minded individuals, and listening to the wisdom within, you turn that loneliness into strength. Comment alone below if you've ever felt this way. Let this be the moment you step into the next chapter of your life, leaving behind the feeling of being lost and alone, fully embracing your destiny as a chosen one. There's a feeling inside you that has always been there, a quiet certainty, an unshakable sense that you were meant for more than what others expected of you. Perhaps it was faint at first, just a whisper telling you that your path would never look like theirs. But as time passed, the whisper became louder, impossible to ignore. You've always known, deep in your heart, that you were set apart. Yet for so long, you resisted. You tried to fit into the roles they laid out, tried to downplay your differences, so you wouldn't stand out too much. But that resistance only made you feel more disconnected, more stifled. Now, you're starting to realize that you can't fight it anymore. You were chosen for a purpose, and the time to fully embrace that purpose has finally come. For years, you've carried the weight of other people's expectations. They told you what you should be, how you should think, and what path you should follow. When you veered off that path, they doubted you. When you showed your true self, they tried to diminish you. It's not because you were wrong, but because you were different, and that difference scared them. They saw in you a potential that could disrupt the order they were so comfortable with. The resistance you faced wasn't because you were unworthy. It was because you were powerful. Every struggle, every rejection, and every ounce of self-doubt was planted there to keep you from realizing the truth. You were meant to stand tall, not shrink down. But what if all those challenges were never meant to break you? Jeremiah 29 verse 11 reminds us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This passage speaks to the divine intention behind every trial. You weren't meant to blend in or conform. The things that set you apart were placed there on purpose, By design, what felt like rejection was actually a form of protection, guiding you away from paths that weren't yours to walk. As you start to see these struggles through a new lens, you'll realize they were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to refine you, to prepare you for the extraordinary calling that only you can fulfill. And now, you're beginning to feel it. The shift is undeniable. What once felt like a burden, your uniqueness, your sensitivity, your intuition, now feels like a gift. You're starting to see how those differences are your greatest strengths. Perhaps you've noticed how people turn to you for guidance or how your perspective brings clarity that others can't see. Maybe you felt a growing sense of alignment, as if the pieces of your life are falling into place in a way that feels almost orchestrated. These aren't random occurrences. They're signs that your time is now. That sense of purpose you've always carried is no longer a distant dream. It's a reality waiting for you to embrace it fully. The more you lean into this truth, the more you'll recognize how the world begins to shift around you. You'll notice that the obstacles in your path no longer feel insurmountable. Instead, they look like stepping stones, guiding you towards something greater. You'll see that the support you need, whether it's people, opportunities, or resources, starts to appear at just the right moment. This isn't coincidence. This is divine alignment. As you move forward with confidence, you'll feel a sense of support from unseen forces, a quiet reassurance that you're exactly where you need to be. They may have tried to hold you back, but they can no longer stand in your way. But embracing your destiny isn't just about recognizing these signs. It's about taking action, about fully stepping into who you are meant to be. Many people shy away from their purpose because it's unfamiliar, even intimidating. They worry about what it might cost them, relationships, comfort, the illusion of safety. But you've reached a point where staying in the shadows feels far more painful than stepping into the light. This is the moment where you decide to let go of fear, doubt, and hesitation. You choose to trust that your calling is real, that your journey is meaningful, and that the path ahead is yours alone to walk. As you make this choice, you'll find that the hesitation you once felt starts to fade. Instead, it's replaced by a growing confidence, a sense of peace in knowing that you are finally living authentically. You no longer need to justify your uniqueness or explain your purpose to anyone. You're not here to blend in. You're here to make an impact. And the more you embrace that, the more your light will shine. You'll inspire others who feel lost, showing them what it means to stand in their truth. Your journey isn't just about you. It's about guiding others toward their own awakening. So here you are, at the edge of something extraordinary. All the struggles, the doubts, the resistance, they've led you to this moment. It's time to claim your destiny. You were never meant to stay small, to dim your light, or to follow someone else's path. You were chosen for a reason, and now it's your time to rise. Comment, "I am chosen," if you're ready to fully embrace who you were always meant to be. Let the world see your light, and watch as the path ahead becomes clearer with every step you take. As you continue down this path, you'll notice how the small decisions you make every day begin to reflect your larger purpose. Every time you choose courage over fear, authenticity over conformity, you reaffirm your role. The moments that once seemed insignificant will carry new meaning. Each interaction, each decision, each step forward will become a testament to the truth you've embraced. You'll start to see how even the challenges that arise serve to strengthen your resolve and clarify your vision. This isn't about a sudden transformation. It's about the steady, ongoing journey of becoming who you were always meant to be. In this process, you'll also find that your perspective changes. The way you view yourself, others, and the world around you will shift. Instead of seeing obstacles, you'll see opportunities for growth. Instead of feeling burdened by challenges, you'll feel empowered to overcome them. You'll come to understand that each difficulty is not a sign of failure, but a call to step into greater strength. And as your perspective changes, so too will your energy. You'll radiate a sense of purpose and confidence that others can't help but notice. Your light will naturally draw people toward you, not because you seek recognition, but because authenticity is magnetic. This transformation isn't just about what you do. It's about how you see yourself. The doubts that once held you back will start to dissipate as you step more fully into your prophetic role. You'll realize that you don't need anyone's permission to embrace your calling. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or the right conditions. Everything you need is already within you. The truth has been revealed, and now it's your choice to walk in it. You'll feel a renewed sense of purpose, and that purpose will fuel you as you take each new step forward.